understand wanting to be famous, and I understand building yourself, and I understand wanting to be a boxer as well, and being a professional. But at some point, someone has to be guiding this kid's career.
I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing, or they don't know anything about boxing, they wanna watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he brings fans from other world.
Jake Paul, the YouTube star turned boxer, has sparked strong reactions from seasoned fighters. While he's cashing in on pay-per-view events and making headlines for taking on so-called real opponents, many in the boxing world remain unconvinced. Experienced professionals, who have spent years training, fighting, and sacrificing to reach the top, question whether Paul truly respects the sport of boxers who have dedicated their lives to the ring. See his rapid rise as a mockery of their struggles. Unlike them, Paul hasn't endured the same hardships, the grueling training camps, or the brutal fights that define a true fighter's journey. Instead, he's used his internet fame to jump the line, securing big money bouts without paying his dues. Legends of the sport, including fighters like Mike Tyson, have weighed in on the debate. While some acknowledge Paul's efforts and business acumen, others feel he hasn't earned the right to call himself a boxer on the same level as those who have fought their way up from the bottom. They argue that boxing is more than just entertainment, it's a test of endurance, skill, and heart. Despite the criticism, Paul continues to draw massive audiences and generate interest in boxing, bringing in fans who might not have otherwise paid attention to the sport. Whether he's helping or hurting boxing remains a point of contention, but one thing is certain, he's forcing the industry to take notice.
Jake Paul been fighting YouTubers.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Let's be real, Jake Paul's massive social media following and ability to sell out events don't earn him respect in the boxing world. To many fighters, he's nothing more than a publicity stunt, using the sport as a platform to boost his brand rather than proving himself as a real contender. Seasoned boxers, who have spent years grinding in the gym and fighting their way up, see Paul's rise as a joke. They argue that boxing isn't just about hype and pay-per-view numbers, it's about skill, dedication, and earning your place in the ring. Many fighters haven't held back in calling him out, criticizing his carefully selected opponents and lack of true boxing experience. While Paul claims he's serious about the sport, professionals remain skeptical, questioning whether he's truly committed or just capitalizing on boxing's popularity for personal gain. Despite the backlash, Paul continues to dominate headlines, drawing attention, whether good or bad, to the sport. Love him or hate him, he's forcing boxing's biggest names to respond, proving that, for now, he's a conversation the sport can't ignore.
I don't know who else is on YouTube boxing, but Jake Paul's by far number one.
I guess Gaethje's gonna fight Floyd Mayweather.
I don't pay attention to shit celebrities do. That's a waste of my damn time. My time is too valuable and I like giving it to my fans.
Professional boxer Rolly Romero is known for his outspoken nature, especially when it comes to Jake Paul. The social media star turned boxer has been a frequent target of Romero's bold opinions. The two have exchanged heated words on multiple occasions, with Romero openly criticizing Paul's boxing career and calling out his lack of experience. Never one to hold back, Romero sees Paul's rise as more spectacle than substance, often challenging his credibility in the sport. Their back and forth has only added to the drama surrounding Paul's boxing journey, fueling speculation about a potential showdown between them. Whether it's just talk or something more, one thing is clear, Romero isn't afraid to speak his mind when it comes to Paul's place in boxing.
He's marketable and he put in the work, man. He's gonna get an opportunity.
In interviews and on social
media, Rolly Romero has been outspoken about Jake Paul, often dismissing him as a legitimate boxer and mocking his skills. Known for his brash attitude, Romero has criticized Paul's rise in boxing, questioning his credibility and ridiculing his choice of opponents. Jake Paul, in turn, has fired back with his own taunts, keeping the rivalry going in a constant back and forth. If you're referring to a specific event or post, let me know, and I can provide more details.
I mean, it was great. I think it was great for it's great for Jake Paul because now we're having to sit here and have another conversation about him.
Kamaru Usman has made it clear that he's more excited about beating Jake Paul than facing Conor McGregor. Usman, who has dominated the UFC with his wrestling and striking, believes Paul's rise in boxing is more about publicity than actual skill. He isn't impressed with Paul's trash talk and sees it as a chance to silence him. For Usman, a fight with Jake Paul would be the perfect opportunity to show that social media stunts can't replace real fighting talent. While a fight with McGregor would offer its own excitement and legacy, Usman is more fired up about taking on the brash influencer turned boxer. To him, it's personal. He wants to prove to Paul that there's a reason real fighters are at the top and that Paul's antics aren't fooling anyone.
I don't know how much confidence that Jake Paul have in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great.
Evander Holyfield has some strong words of caution for Jake Paul: don't fight Mike Tyson. In a recent interview, Holyfield, who fought Tyson twice and famously defeated him in 1996, advised Paul to avoid a match with the former heavyweight champion. Holyfield understands the danger Tyson still presents, even though Tyson is no longer in his prime. He stressed that Tyson's power and experience make him a serious threat, something Paul, who has only been boxing for a short time, likely doesn't fully understand.
Do you see Mike winning or do you see Jake winning?
I don't know. It's all depending on how Jake fight. You know, I tell you what, if it's cause somebody gonna tell him it's too crazy to be trying to get close to the guy. He gonna stay like that. Mike like he get in and he curve up like this and snap out and get you.
Holyfield's comments come as a response to Jake Paul's recent talk about facing Mike Tyson. While Paul has built his career by taking on opponents with limited boxing experience, Holyfield believes Tyson represents a level Paul wouldn't want to challenge. As for Holyfield's view on Paul's fights, he has been openly critical of the YouTuber turned boxer, particularly after Paul's recent victories. Holyfield thinks Paul's continued success in the ring is more about timing in favorable matchups than actual boxing skill.
I think it's really not affecting the real fighters. People like me, I don't really get into it too much. I like Jake Paul. I think he's been doing his thing. But truth be told, I really care so about the real boxing at the end of the day.
Shakur Stevenson recently shared his thoughts on the Jake Paul vs. Anderson Silva fight, and let's just say he didn't hold back. Known for his sharp wit and quick punches in the ring, Stevenson found the whole spectacle laughable. He wasn't impressed with the outcome and seemed more amused by the idea that Jake Paul was somehow outclassing MMA legend Silva in a boxing ring. Stevenson definitely didn't buy into the hype around Paul's boxing skills and wasn't shy about calling out the absurdity of the fight, which had fans questioning just how legitimate Paul's boxing success really was. On a more serious note, Stevenson did give credit where it was due, showing respect for Le'Veon Bell after his knockout win over Adrian Peterson. Bell, the former NFL star, stepped into the boxing ring and impressed with a clean knockout, something Stevenson didn't hesitate to acknowledge.
Mike got 30-something years of experience.
True.
He's still got power. Even though he's 58, he's still fucking fast.
Aries Spears pointed out that while Mike Tyson is 58 years old, Jake Paul is young and confident.
Aries Spears highlighted that while Mike Tyson is 58 years old, Jake Paul is young and confident, but he believes that confidence is misplaced. Spears argued that being younger doesn't mean Paul can handle Tyson, who still possesses the raw power and fighting instincts that made him a legend. Despite Tyson's age, Spears feels Paul should avoid a fight with him, especially given the significant experience gap between the two.
Now he's got young man strength.
Yes.
And he seems like he knows how to work the mitts based on, you know, his time in.
Yeah.
But Mike is a different breed, man.
Yes, but it's not.
Spears believes Jake Paul's confidence comes from carefully choosing opponents with limited experience rather than facing real competition. According to him, Paul has built his boxing record by avoiding true challenges, which gives him a false sense of security in the ring. When it comes to Mike Tyson, Spears argues that age is not the only factor to consider. At 58, Tyson may not be in his prime, but his skill, power, and experience remain at an elite level. He insists that Paul underestimates just how dangerous Tyson still is. Years of training and instinct don't simply disappear, and even an older Tyson would be a serious threat. Spears sees Paul's desire to fight Tyson as misguided bravado. He believes Paul is focusing too much on Tyson's age while ignoring the technical ability and raw strength the former heavyweight champion still possesses. In Spears' eyes, stepping into the ring with Tyson wouldn't be a smart career move, it would be a reality check.
Jake Paul is awesome. Jake Paul is a threat. I cannot fully dismiss the idea that he was a Disney character or that he knocked out an NBA player, and he's calling out a YouTube star in KSI. Like, while all of those things are true,
Chael Sonnen recently shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and he didn't sugarcoat his opinions.
Chael Sonnen recently weighed in on a potential fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and he didn't mince words. While he acknowledged Paul's growing presence in boxing, he made it clear that stepping into the ring with Tyson would be a major mistake. Sonnen pointed out that, despite being 58, Tyson still possesses incredible power, experience, and skill far beyond what Paul has faced. He emphasized that boxing isn't just about youth or athleticism, it's about technique, and Tyson's decades of experience would make him a dangerous opponent. According to Sonnen, Paul may have built a name for himself, but he's not ready for a fighter of Tyson's caliber. If the fight happens, Sonnen believes Paul could be in for a reality check against one of the most feared heavyweights in boxing history.
if you try to fight Mike Tyson in boxing ever in your life, you qualify as a badass. Like, there's possibly not another standard.
Sonnen emphasized that Tyson's boxing IQ and ferocity in the ring are still intact, even if his physical condition isn't what it once was. He noted that Jake Paul's confidence comes from fighting opponents with little to no boxing experience, but stepping into the ring with someone like Tyson, who has fought at the highest levels, would be a different challenge. Sonnen made it clear that Tyson's ability to inflict damage, combined with his reputation, would make it a dangerous and unwise fight for Jake Paul, who might be underestimating just how much Tyson could still bring to the table.
In 1 week, the story has changed. In 1 week, this went to Jake Paul falling back to his old habits of wanting to beat up a geriatric and get credit for it. And we let him know, if you beat up said geriatric, not only do you not get credit, we're going to be mad at you because we all like Mike Tyson.
To real boxers, Jake Paul's entry into boxing is like someone walking into a symphony concert and trying to conduct with a kazoo. So, what do professional boxers really think of Jake Paul? In short, they're not impressed. The consensus is that Jake is more of a spectacle than a serious athlete. While Paul has gained fame by cashing in on boxing matches, most professionals see him as a gimmick, using the sport to make money and stay in the spotlight rather than mastering it. They're frustrated by his lack of respect for the sport, especially since he jumped straight into big fights without paying his dues. Boxers who've spent years in the gym, grinding through amateur bouts, don't take kindly to someone who thinks they can simply waltz into the ring and challenge seasoned fighters.